Hello and welcome to the Australian Gamer Show. I'm Yug.
I'm Matt.
And today we're going to be talking about Hospital Blackout,
AVP Band,
R18 Rally,
Quantum Drinkies,
Mana Bar,
Bayonetta Demo,
and Professional Litigator.
Litigator. Well done, you got there eventually.
I need your glasses.
No, you don't.
No, I don't. Okay, so, how you doing, mate?
Good. Not bad.
It's good.
I wanted to jump straight into the topics because we've actually got quite a few.
We should, actually.
We should probably do the biggest one first.
God forbid we go over time on a podcast.
Yeah, that would be weird and scary.
Okay, so what's the biggest?
Well, I would think the biggest would have to be the banning of Alien vs. Predator.
Yeah.
The actual news is obviously, covered in just saying that. Alien vs. Predator, a Sega game coming out next, or theoretically coming out next year.
Supposed to come out next year. Has been refused classification in Australia.
Yep.
The latest in the series of refused classification games.
The reason, of course, is not at all hard to guess. It's because of violence, and
look, it's violence against predators. I mean, really,
it's violence by predators against humans.
I thought it was against predators because those poor predators. Depicting violence against them is mean.
Well, that's the thing. It's not alien on alien violence is okay, but once you start involving humans, it's bad, and it does appear that it is quite horribly violent.
Oh yeah, but I mean, so is the alien. Oh, here we go. So is the Alien vs Predator movies. I mean, there's a bit where his face gets melted and they're fucked up, and a girl gets skewed to the side of a wall, and all it's just that's Alien vs. That's the series. It's violent.
It always has been violent, and you look at other violent movies, and some of the things that are shown, Hostel being quite famous, or similar sorts of.
Well, it's interesting. Interesting that it's an Alien vs Predator game, though. It's not like something that's a little bit more. It's sci-fi. It's completely and utterly over the top in a fantasy environment. It's not trying to be realistic at all.
Yeah, I know. It's hard to. Such a weird. The rulings on them are so weird in that.
Yeah.
Violence is okay as long as it's justified by context, and things are minimized by having a fantasy. Like, you look at games like... I'll be interested to see whether God of War 3 gets through, because it is really violent.
But do you think these are starting to come through because the games are starting to look better, be more realistic? I mean, a game on the PS1, for example, or stuff like that, it couldn't reach this level of graphic violence?
I think that's exactly the case. And I think that more and more, as time passes, we'll find that more and more games stop slipping through the cracks because developers can do things now. They can go, we can simulate the bone fragments.
Yeah.
And, they can model all that kind of thing. And that's, groovy and everything. And it makes everything more realistic. But there's a cost.
But it's cool. I've actually been a big fan of the Alien vs. Predator series as well. I remember playing Alien vs. Predator on the PC when it first came out. I even played Alien Trilogy on the original PlayStation. I've played all Alien-based and Predator-based games. I love that aspect to it.
You know what game was awesome?
What?
The Alien vs. Predator arcade machine.
I love that fucking thing.
And you could only really get it on the Jaguar. It never really came to any of the home consoles, which is such a pity.
Oh no, Alien vs. Predator on the Jaguar. Wasn't that a first-person game?
No. Oh,
you're talking about...
I could be confusing them. I thought that...
There was an Alien... I think it was Alien vs. Predator on the Jaguar. Yeah.
Dungeons and Dragons.
Dungeons
and Dragons. Double Dragon style beat 'em up.
Exactly. Streets of Rage style sort of thing. I remember playing that in the arcades. I remember being on holiday somewhere up on the North Coast or something like that, and this one corner store, away at the beach for like a 2-week holiday with the family. It's like, hey, we're going out into the beach and all this kind of stuff. And this corner store had one arcade machine that had Alien vs. Predator in it. And I was so starved of video games for that 2 weeks that for the second week I was there, I pumped about $50 into that game and finished it with all 4 of the different characters. There was the guy, the girl, and there were 2 different predators.
2 different predators,
so, yeah. I loved that fucking game.
The 2 different predators were more or less the same, though, weren't they?
Really? They had different weapons,
they did too. They had different weapons, yeah. I tended to play as the chick because she was fast.
Okay.
And because I'm a girl.
What? Okay, yeah. I like the Predator best because, it's a fucking hunting, killing, death machine.
Yeah,
but that's just me. So
the game coming out, or not coming out now in Australia, is looked to be a first person. It was a first person sort of, much like the earlier ones. That
look very similar. It's actually done by Rebellion. I think they did Alien vs. Predator 2. I'm not sure if they did the first one, but I know they did the second one. And they It looks cool. I actually watched a developer walkthrough as you're playing as one of the predators going up against the aliens, and one of the issues they may have had is how does like the trophy kills, like you literally can get a human creep up on them sort of thing and rip their fucking skull out, which is
including the spine.
Which is pretty violent, you know.
But it was violent when Mortal Kombat did it too.
It was, but not quite as graphic.
Better now.
It's better.
Yeah.
So yeah, that sucks. And
I've enjoyed Rebellion's response. Rebellion is disappointed that its upcoming title, Aliens vs. Predator, has been banned in Australia. However, as we understand the law in that country, the authorities had no choice, as we strongly agree our game is not suitable for game players who are not adults.
So they're not going to change anything. They're not going to do a valve and like edit it down.
The content of AVP is based on some of the most innovative and iconic horror movies, and as such we wanted to create a title that was true to the source material. It is for adults, it is bloody and frightening, that was our intent. We will not be releasing a sanitized or cut down version for territories where adults are not considered by their government to be able to make their own entertainment choices.
Nice response.
Yeah, I thought so. And fair enough. I've kind of, to be honest, wanted developers and publishers to do that, to say, you know what, no, we're not dumbing it down. Because you look at the kind of abomination that is Left 4 Dead 2.
Yeah.
And I think it's better off not being released. I think it's better off...
It's a fucking tough call. And it sucks being in this position, because I want to play that game so much.
Yeah, well, too bad.
Yeah, I know, too bad. Or unless there's
because of Michael Atkinson. Speaking of Michael Atkinson, I'm not sure who's actually heard the news, but Michael Atkinson has been embroiled in some
controversy,
political scandals of his own. Now, I don't think it'll be enough to bring him down. It's nice to hope that this whiff of corruption and so on will lead to his downfall, and he'll be replaced by some 22-year-old skateboarding professional, but I don't see that happening.
No, I don't hold out hope for that. But still, what is this corruption thing?
Well, basically, that he offered someone a position on a council in exchange for switching over to the Labor Party or something like that, or for joining the Labor Party. Oh, for joining, and he basically offered them a paying position on a council in exchange for doing so, to further his own political...
Sneaky bastard.
It's not the first time there's been substantial whiffs of corruption about him. There was a previous event in 2004 where he basically paid someone off. He offered them a similar sort of position in exchange for dropping a legal challenge.
Oh, right. Okay.
And he essentially bought this guy off, stopped him suing the government for, I think, wrongful dismissal.
Okay.
And when that kind of came to light, he essentially said that he didn't know anything about it, nothing had happened, or don't know what you're talking about.
As all good politicians do.
As all good politicians do. And there was another one that I thought was even more interesting, which was the hiding of, this was 2006, I believe, the hiding of $6 million worth of unspent electoral funds. One of his staffers...
Where did he hide it? Under the pillow, or...?
I think it was like some accounting...
Yeah, that's a lot of money. It would be in the pillow. It would be the pillow.
It would be the pillow.
Yeah, just
and
in
the
a
mattress,
pillowcase.
possibly.
And the mattress, yeah.
I suspect it was more of an electronic accounting...
Do you think you did... If you had $6 million worth of money, would you... like in the movies, how they put it in the bed and they lie on it and rub it themselves with it? Would you do that? If you had $6 million of $50 notes, would you put them on the bed and rub yourself with
I think you would have to on principle. But
I think so.
I think it would kind of suck if it was like bullion, gold bullion. Yeah. Ow, with diamonds.
It's not quite, no. You throw it up in the air and it falls back on you. It's like, ow,
yeah.
that cut, I'm cut.
Diamonds would give you serious cuts as well. Bearer bonds would probably just not be interesting.
Not really the same, and they'd crease and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Anyway, what were we talking about? Oh yeah, we were talking about
controversy,
hiding $6 million through accounting finagling, and his staffer basically was charged with it, and he claimed no knowledge of it. And she said, because he said, well, I was never told this was happening, and she said, well, I told you between 6 and 8 times. Yeah. But the government believed him instead of her.
Of course they did.
So he was never charged with that, and he got off with that. Now, I lean towards her view myself. I suspect he knew. When people under your judge do
within
something
your administration that you are
that benefits you. It's usually your
There's
fault.
a good chance that you'll know what the hell is going on. So, although let's keep the idea that when he hit it, can we just say like he hit it in the backyard or buried it in the ground, or that's
I
just a much
suspect
cooler
because
image,
it was found out that it was recovered, so he probably doesn't have it.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, but though I do like the idea of people going around to his house to
find it.
Yeah,
or it's sitting in the corner or something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway. So yeah, that's Michael Axon, not squeaky clean. There's actually his name was coming up a lot today. I went to a R18 rally in King George Square here in Brisbane, up in Queensland, which was interesting. It was the first public demonstration I've ever been to of the R18 rating. There were probably around about maybe 80, 100 people there, if that sort of thing. You could tell they were the gamers because they were the ones, half of them dressed in black and all hiding in the shade.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that, but I just thought it was funny. It's like, yeah, that's the group I'm looking for.
Yeah.
And, they gave some good talks. And the main guy from the
Electronic Frontiers Association, yep.
He was really good. He actually had a lot of good stuff to say, sort of thing, and I think he's really on the ball. That group in general really on the ball. Yeah,
they do really good stuff, and they I'm not sure how well financed they are, but I know they use their resources really well.
From what I know.
And they I find it really scary living in a country that has a censorship minister but doesn't have a civil liberties union. I think that says an awful lot about our country, and it's a scary thing, because when you look at civil liberties issues in Australia that occur, and you can talk about things like the R18 rating, and you can look at things like the censorship of the internet. There is no organisation to...
Should that really would that be a government organisation, or would
fuck no, it's the anti-government organisation.
Right. Why do we not have one of those organisations?
Because
are we just lazy?
I think so. I don't know. We just never really got the strong civil liberties movement that the United States has. The ACLU in the United States is an incredibly powerful lobby organisation.
Well, in the States, they're very much like about our rights and all this.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
and they have a Bill of Rights that's part of their constitution.
Yeah. Whereas here, I've just gotten the impression we're all like,
Yeah, we're signatories to United Nations declarations of universal human rights, but we don't actually have a Bill of Rights of our own. I don't think we should have one like the US one.
Okay.
Because the US one can never change at all.
Right.
It's so tightly buried into their constitution that there's no way to amend it.
Is that a bad thing? Isn't the civil rights thing is pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah, well, they're supposed to be universal rights. They're not supposed to change, but there's always the possibility that if you make rights, you may want them to be at least possible to change. There's something called a legislative Bill of Rights, basically, where instead of being owned by the Constitution, it's run by the legal system. Okay. So the legal system can use it as a foundation for legal decisions without actually being forced to never change it. It can be changed, possibly, because your Bill of Rights may say that everyone has a right to have a car.
Yep.
But in 1,000 years, no one fucking wants a car. No one uses a car. So you want to change that portion of it to make it relevant to the times.
Yes.
The United States, they can't do that. Granted, they maybe don't want to ever give up the right to freedom of speech, but...
No, we've gotten onto such a tangent that it's going over my head.
Yes, I know.
Okay,
it's
good.
Probably going over most people's heads. But there's a point.
Words that are smaller and simpler.
There's a point here, which is that people in Australia do not have a way to protect their rights to anywhere near the extent the United States does.
Yes.
There's some advantages and disadvantages to those, and the disadvantages are currently fucking us in the arse.
That's the point. Okay, cool. I just like the fact that for once it actually took you about 5 minutes to get to the point, as opposed to usually it's me who's rambling on.
Difference is I was getting to a point and you don't. You just kind of wander around in circles.
I get there eventually.
Look, it's
usually
my head.
When you go, what the fuck was the point? And I go, this.
Yeah.
Which had nothing to do with what I was talking about. Anyway, so I went to this rally. Look, it's good to see some proactive stuff outside of internet forums and things like that. I think it will take a metric fuckload more actual people, mainstream media, press and exposure. There was a chick from the Sunday Mail that was there. That was nice. She was doing a bit of a write-up. But apart from that, I mean, there's just not all that much else. This thing needs to either get fucking massive. Or I don't know. And I guess at the end of the day, I still don't really know. Look, I want to support it so much, but I just don't know what the point is.
No,
does that mean? I don't mean to say
no,
that.
I agree. I mean, I just don't think rallies are going to achieve anything because the political process is what needs to change and it needs to be followed.
Would the political process change if there was enough obvious public outcry?
Well, do you think maybe we've had that obvious public outcry?
No,
do you think, no,
I don't think so at all.
Do you think that 100 people maybe is the public outcry and we just...
we are such a minority?
Maybe we just overestimate our importance. Maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe this issue is not an important issue.
Fundamentally, it's an important issue.
I agree, but we need to make it important to everyone.
Let's make it important, Matt. What about next time there's a rally, instead of just saying everyone turn up, we offer everyone free hot dogs. So that way we'll get way more people coming.
Well, we certainly could do more ourselves to promote it, but my issue is that the movement and the promotion and the stuff for this whole issue is split. It is so thoroughly split among a dozen different organisations and a dozen different, you know, directions. And I don't think they're all working together. I think they're just sort of...
Split,
yeah.
All right.
Because it's one thing if you're approaching something from different angles and from different places and everyone's doing things, but that's not...
Okay, we need to stop talking about political stuff. We need to start talking about arse. And I think the best game to actually talk... Yes. Yeah, you know I'm getting that. All right. Bayonetta demo. I haven't played it. Matt has. And I think the main thing here is arse, is the main kind of focus on this.
I think you really kind of...
Overestimate the arse?
No, I just think you trivialise the game when you say it's just about arse, because it is arse and tits.
Oh, right. Sorry.
And I think it's important to keep that in perspective.
Keep the arse and
Bayonetta
tits in
is a really...
All right.
Bayonetta is a really interesting game. It's such a...
Interesting, yes.
Such a kind of nonsense brawler action fighty kind of game.
Look, it looks good. It's very Devil May Cry.
Very Devil May Cry.
Yeah, except even more over the top potentially.
Yeah, exactly. It's like someone went, you know what? This isn't silly enough. Near silly enough.
Which is fine and sounds fun, and I'm keen to check it out. I'm keen to play it, but I was never really like, oh my god, I must play this game and must have this game. Which is why I'm shocked that it got the 40 score in Famitsu.
Yeah, Famitsu gave it 40 and Edge gave it 10 out of 10.
For anyone that's not familiar with Famitsu, it's a Japanese publication, and what they do, I'm really impressed with how they review games. They have 4 different people that review a game, and they give it a score out of 10, and then they put those scores together, and that's the final score for the game. So usually there's such a minuscule chance that you'll get a 40 for a game. That game has to
because if
suck dick. I mean, that's really well. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's just got to be the best dick
because you've got to basically
ever,
I mean, a really good game you'll give it 9 out of 10.
Yeah,
and that means 4 people giving it 9 out of 10, and that's
36.
Yeah, and that's 36 already. So,
and I mean, these guys are so thorough. They review the different platforms as well. Like, we're talking about the 360 version that got 40, whereas the PS3 version got 38.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure why. I think there was some load issues or something.
Yeah,
with
it's that nitpicky. So for this game, which on glance seems so exploitive and just so ridiculously over the top, and so I don't know. I would think that games of a higher caliber would be deserving of such a high score as opposed to...
It's not exactly an entry in the games are art category.
It
is just a silly game. But that being said, I was mildly interested in it until I played the demo at a few places like I think they had it at Supernova.
Gen Con in Brisbane.
That's right.
Yep.
Gen Con and down at eGames we played it. And it is just so much fun. The combat is really good.
Okay.
Excessive, which is what you want in that kind of fighting.
Absolutely.
And lots of different combos, lots of different moves, and they just all lend themselves to a really nicely varied combat, which is a necessity in games like that. I find brawler type games tend to fall into a punch.
They can end up just repeating themselves, especially after you've played it for like 7 or 8 hours.
But Bayonetta's sheer excess and its graphical style and all that kind of stuff lends itself to a really, really good game.
Okay, all right, well, yeah, cool. All right, I'm keen to check it out then.
It's worth pointing out the demo is now it's definitely on the PlayStation Store. Now, I'm not 100% sure about the Xbox.
Probably would be.
No, it is, but you have to download it through a PC at the moment. Like, it's not on the marketplace yet. It's on...
What?
It's something weird.
Are you sure?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm just going by what the press release said and by something that I read that said it was first on the PlayStation Network.
Okay.
So right. I'm not 100% sure what's happening with that, but in any case, it's coming out. It's actually the first AAA title for the year as well. It's coming
next year, 2010.
Next year on the 7th.
2010. Fuck, do you know it's less than 3 weeks to Christmas?
Yeah.
3 weeks to 3 shopping weeks left to Christmas. Sorry, it's just one of those things. You get to that Christmas period and it just kind of sneaks up on you.
Yeah, it really
it's like
does,
someone turns around and says, "Wow, it's like it'll be Christmas in a month." It's like, fuck, really?
Yeah.
Although I'm kind of lucky. I leave all my Christmas shopping to the very last minute.
Yeah, you have.
I told you this strategy?
Yeah, you have. You have told me your strategy. It's very strange.
It's worked for the last 3 years. Basically, I do not buy a single present. I wait until the day before Christmas Eve. And then what I do is I go to Chermside Shopping Centre, which is one of the shopping centres at Westfield that's open up for a 24-hour period. Mm-hmm. So 24 hours allows
for
people
pretty
to
much
shop.
the week before Christmas.
Exactly. So what I do is I go there, and I don't leave until I've bought everything that for all the people that I plan to. And you know how you go shopping, you're like, oh, I need to get something for this person. You spend maybe you'll spend a couple of hours if it's someone particularly important in your family or whatever. You're like, I need to. You really quit. I need to find this particular gift or something that's suitable.
Yep.
You know what? After wandering around in a shopping center for like 24 hours, at the end of it, you got 3 people on the list. It's like fucking bathrobe, puzzle cube. Yep, great, whatever sort of thing. You get it all done and out of the way in that time.
I actually was at Chermside Shopping Centre for Christmas, I think 2 years ago now. And it was such a big event, there was actually a guy doing ecstasy in the bathroom.
Really?
I'm dead serious. There was actually a guy dropping pills in the bathroom.
I'm not surprised, because it's those... you've got, obviously, the shopping centre lights sort of thing, and it's weird being in a shopping centre that, keep in mind, hasn't been properly cleaned either. So the cleaners, they do their best, but it's not like shut down and... all this kind of stuff. Everyone there is just the Walking Dead.
Yeah, it's great.
It is like a zombie movie.
Yeah, it's like a zombie mall. You're already in a mall, so you've got this Land of the Dead thing
especially
happening.
like 5 a.m. in the morning, where it's just that sort of, it's dark, but the sun's just coming up, so, you walk outside, it's just so fucking surreal. So, yeah, it's good. Anyway, so that's what I'm doing this year.
Well, that sounds fun for you. I also wanted to talk about, while we're on the subject of hospitals...
Okay.
A case in...
worst segue ever, but yeah.
I know. A case in the Netherlands where a guy shut down a hospital for 45 minutes, blacked out the hospital.
What's this have to do with games? Okay.
Follow me here.
All
Follow
right.
me.
Oh, I'm with you.
Blacked out a hospital, shut down the elevators in the hospital.
They would have had emergency backups and things like that.
Well, you would think...
Right.
You would think, but according to the report I read, doctors had to keep on intensive care patients and manually keep them alive. So this is a fairly serious event.
It's
and the reason
serious.
this happened was because one of the mental health patients thought he was solving a puzzle in Silent Hill. And would get a toothbrush.
Right.
Which would help him continue his adventures. I don't know, but
okay.
He shut down the power in the he basically kind of wandered down to the basement and shut down the power.
That's where I was getting at. There is like how does this mental health patient actually get access in the hospital to that? Well, I guess if he's treating it like a Silent Hill game, he'd get to a door, it's locked, and they'd have to maybe find the key somehow. He's
possibly walking around everything because he can't fucking jump.
It does show that games do promote sort of thinking outside the box
sort
of thing.
Potential death of innocence.
Potential death of innocence, but good on him for being creative and
he was crazy.
His goal.
He didn't really have a choice but to be creative.
He couldn't have been that crazy if he actually got down there. So
How do you know that?
I don't know.
Crazy doesn't stop you being able to handle stairs.
Weren't all the main characters in Silent Hill women? Didn't you play as girls?
No, there've been different ones, haven't there?
Been different ones. Okay.
I think there've been different ones.
Okay, all right.
But anyway, so this sounds like one of the dubious stories that we later have to post that it wasn't true
like that
because
kid that spent all the money and
all that.
Okay. Yep.
The better stories, basically.
The good ones. Dude, I don't care if we report the truth or not. Let's just go with what's cool.
I've seen this one checked into, and even though the original report was on a kind of unreliable website, not unlike ours.
Sure.
Kotaku got hold of the transcripts from the court because the guy was charged, and he not surprisingly pleaded not guilty by reason of insanity.
Yeah, well,
which I think when you are already in the mental health ward and you think you're playing Silent Hill and turn off a hospital,
you've got a pretty good case.
You've set yourself a solid base for that defence.
Yeah.
So he did get off on that.
I like that. So I'm assuming that they don't let him play video games anymore.
Yeah, well,
because that'd be embarrassing if, like, in his little booth or I don't know, padded room or whatever he has. I don't know.
Because it's still the 50s. Continue.
Yeah. Okay, he would have video games, and he's been playing Silent Hill. They'd have to give him something different, Mario Kart or something, you know.
Oh, because then he's going to jump on all the turtles, dude. Seriously.
No, because then he'll actually take the wheelchairs down the hallway and just try and I don't know.
What?
Actually,
what was that got to do with
Mario Kart.
Oh, I see. Mario Kart, right.
You'll go down and you'll take magic mushrooms and... I don't know. I'm trying to go somewhere with
It's interesting, actually, because we've always had this assumption that as gamers we should be allowed to play whatever the hell we want because we know the difference between reality and fantasy. But it's interesting that sometimes people don't.
Especially if they're mentally ill.
Well, I mean, pretty much only if you're mentally ill. That's what makes them mentally ill.
Right, okay, yeah.
But yeah, there must be people around who are like, yeah, I do live in a world where I'm a plumber and I have to climb down pipes.
And jump on a turtle.
Because there have been at least anecdotal stories of people who have climbed into pipes, thinking there was a secret world within.
I've told you this kind of stuff before. Like when I was at a mate's place playing Daytona all weekend. When I drove back, without even thinking, there were a whole bunch of traffic cones on the side of the road, and I actually swerved to hit them all. And which
Daytona style, yeah.
Daytona style. Although they don't react Daytona style, they don't go flinging off into the distance. They go under your car, and you lose control, and it scares the shit out of you, and they make really loud noises. Yeah. So I snapped out of it pretty quickly. But that freaked me out. That actually was like, Jesus, I've been affected by this game that I've been playing enough that I actually did something in the real world. Yeah,
I actually played Doom 2 so much for a while that I ended up strafing when I walked.
hold on. I got a good story. This is good. When Matt first got drunk.
Oh God, this is not a good story at all.
And I'll skip the good stuff and get to the end.
Which, by the way, I was telling someone the other day, I got married before I got drunk.
Yeah, good work.
Usually so I was actually like 22 or 23 or something.
That makes a lot of sense. You know, you get married and then you start drinking. But what happened was when we left the pub on a Tuesday
night, because that's what you do.
Absolutely. Matt fell down in a garden bed at some point on the walk home where we didn't even get anywhere near home. We got less than one block.
We had this awesome plan, and I remember this epic trek like it was the fucking Kokoda Trail. And we ended up, I walked past there just the other day, and I'm like, okay, we got from there to there, and it was like 20 meters.
I know, it was so pathetic. But you fell over in a garden bed, and there was another guy that was with us who was crazy, and I was running around trying to keep him in control, as if I was the sober one.
Which, relatively speaking, you were.
Maybe relatively, yeah, but still, I was trying to keep things on track. But Matt fell down. I remember distinctly looking back and seeing him with his hands and legs in the air, lying on his back in this garden bed, and. What exactly? Because I always thought that you actually said it's like playing a third-person video game.
No, I remember what I said specifically was that I need a new video card because my frame rate's really low. So that was a very strange event.
Indeed.
That's the only night I've ever gotten so drunk I don't remember what happened.
I remember what happened.
Yeah,
I distinctly remember what happened. I had to clean up that fucking mess the next day.
Yeah.
But anyway, speaking of drinking, here's a nice segue. I went to Quantum Industry Drinks last night.
Quantum, I don't know if everyone knows Quantum. But
Quantum College, they do game design, animation, interactive multimedia course and things like that. They're a little bit more... They're kind of focused on the new media and all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of people in games, especially at Chrome, that come from Quantum.
Yeah.
So they had their industry drinks where all the students from this year showed off all their stuff. In particular, the one that interested me probably the most was one of the games that actually was entered in and accepted by GCAP this year.
Indeed.
And it was cool, actually. I liked playing. I liked looking at a lot of the stuff, actually. There was some really talented stuff. And I'd ask how old these people are. It's like 18, 19. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
If I knew this stuff when I was 18 or 19, I'd be a bazillionaire by now.
Well,
not really. No. But I'd be doing probably better. I don't know. Like
you just have a different career.
I do have a different career, but it's just interesting to see these guys. It's like, fuck, that's really, really talented stuff. So
yeah, and they'll progress and they'll develop and
or they'll
what
try
we
to
see
get in the gaming industry, and then they'll just stagnate. So.
Yeah, probably. Ooh. What we see though from these like talented young people who are coming out of these courses now is what they're going to be able to do with the tools in 5 and 10 years. We're going to see some incredible stuff. Assuming the game industry hasn't completely exploded.
Assuming that indeed. So,
which is not necessarily a safe assumption at all.
We are running out of time here in this podcast. There's one other topic that I particularly wanted to talk about. Is that right?
Well, there was actually two. There was a professional litigator stuff, but we might talk about that next time.
Okay. We can do that next week. Because we are running out of time. And
it would have gone in the crazy theme. We should have stuck with that. But never mind.
Should have segued into that one. I want to talk about Mana Bar. And to talk about the Mana Bar, we're actually going to get a special guest to come and join us on the podcast at the very last second here. Who have we got here? Introduce yourself.
Hello.
Who are you?
I'm Dennis Norden.
Dennis Norden. And what do you do, Dennis?
I do video game criticism for the Escapist website.
Oh, really? I haven't heard of you.
Well, it's a little video series,
It must be really frustrating, actually, doing a video series on the Escapist in Yahtzee's shadow.
Yeah, that guy's a jerk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree.
But yeah, for those of you that don't know, last week, me and Yahtzee and two other guys, Praz and Shay, we signed the lease, got the keys, and submitted the liquor license.
Yes, we signed our lives away.
We have.
For 3 years.
Those of you who don't know, being limited to people who don't have Facebook, don't have Twitter, don't have the internet, don't look at Australian Gamer, and
so
don't
basically,
listen
if
to
you
the
live in a
podcast.
cave.
Yeah,
so
cave people.
I do tend to promote it pretty frequently and regularly, and people that listen to the podcast. So it is Australia's very first video game bar.
We hope. We think.
I'm pretty sure.
Well, either it's the first or other people tried it and they failed miserably.
Yeah. I think it depends how you define that. Because I know like Barcode down in Melbourne, for example, has games.
This is true. There's other venues that have arcade games.
Yep.
There are bars that occasionally have a Guitar Hero night or something like that.
There is a bar here that has a Guitar Hero set up permanently.
Yes.
But apparently it's not very popular.
No. Well, they're more of a tech bar.
Oh, dear.
I guess the point is that we are focusing entirely on the gaming side of things, and also on
the drinking side,
side. But it's all next gen console stuff as well. So
preferably not too much mixing of the drinking and the gaming side.
Why not?
What do you
Isn't
mean?
That the point?
What's the point?
Well,
what the fuck is wrong with you?
I just get a lot of visions of drunkenly hurled controllers embedding themselves in people's skulls.
Hold on a second. Are you standing there and saying, "God, I hope people don't drink and play games in our gaming bar"?
He seems to be saying that.
I am the pessimist in this operation.
Actually,
but are you the one who doesn't want to make any money in this operation?
This is kind of funny. We've got four of us, and I'm the optimist, Yahtzee's the pessimist, Praz is the realist, and Shay, we've decided, is the experienced, because he's the only one with any experience in hospitality.
He's got a lot of experience with drinking.
Well, yes.
So I guess the point is that four friends... I'm not involved in this particular bar at all in any way, by the way. People keep asking me how it's going, and I'm like, I don't fucking care. But it's worth pointing out this is four friends who've started a business together running a bar, and none of them have experience running a bar. So,
well, Shay does.
Shay does.
Well, okay, three people, the three of you.
But we all bring different things to the table. Like
we recently added Shay to the group because I didn't want to actually have to work behind the bar or anything.
Yeah, fair enough.
Heaven forbid. But look, so everything's moving ahead. It's very exciting actually having the keys. For a venue to be able to walk.
You're a very easily excited man, aren't you?
I'm the optimist.
You're excited because you've got keys.
Yes, it's the little things, dude. But the bar, we are aiming to open the bar in February at some point. It all depends on our liquor license coming through, but I'd say that we will be...
Please come and give us lots of money, because otherwise we're all going to kill ourselves.
Yeah, that's probably... Or each other, actually. Let's
make a little pact.
That seems more likely.
Yeah, I'll strangle you strangle Praz can strangle Shay, and Shay strangles me.
We just have a big strangle joke.
Yeah, exactly.
Poisoned Kool-Aid is a tradition.
Really?
And you've got a bar.
It wasn't Kool-Aid. It wasn't Kool-Aid. It was Flavor Aid. in the Reverend Jim Jones's cult.
Right.
And Kool-Aid had been trying to shake off that image for many years.
And it's not going to work.
Thank you, Mr. Kool-Aid representative over there.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
But look, we are hoping to open in February, and we're aiming to have the launch event on the 1st of March, just to be on the safe side. Because the last thing we want is a launch event where we have no liquor license and can't actually...
Can we talk about some of the awesome rumours about this particular event and this bar?
Oh, yes, I've heard some of these rumours.
Have you not heard these fantastic rumours? Well, apparently it's being financed by a major Hollywood celebrity.
Well, that's
true.
No
one can tell me who that is.
Wow.
That's
awesome.
Passed on to me. Yep. And you can kind of see the Chinese whispers that have sort of founded these stories. Like,
what are you talking about, man? That's absolute 100% truth.
It's gone from like a minor internet celebrity to a sort of major internet celebrity to a major Hollywood celebrity. I'm not sure. Actually, I think even minor Hollywood celebrity outranks
internet,
major
Hollywood,
internet.
Same number of mad people.
It is nice because, like, even at this R18 rally that I went to today, sort of thing, like, oh yeah, you're young for Australia, give me that. I'm like, yeah, I'm opening a gaming bar in the Valley, and they're like, oh, I've heard of this.
That's just part of your introduction now, isn't it? Hi, I'm Yug, I'm opening a gaming bar.
Fuck yeah, man. Are you kidding? Of course it is. Why wouldn't it be? But yeah, anyway. Any other rumours? Or
there was
there was the other rumour that this bar is going to be invitation only.
Yeah, totally exclusive.
Like
the whole bar all the time.
Totally true. Absolutely. Yep. You can only get in if
you can buy a drink.
If you pay $2,000 at the door.
Well, that was the rumor. The opening night was so exclusive. It was a $2,000 entry.
Admittedly,
tickets.
look, we are going to have a little bit of problems because anyone that has these ideas in their heads, and I've seen people post on the Manabar Facebook and stuff like this about, oh, you should do this, and this, and this, and it's like, wow, yeah, that'd be awesome. But you need to realize this is a small venue.
Yeah,
it is 50-person capacity.
Yeah.
We can't have more than 50 people in. Actually, I think our license is 60 people. Can't have more than 60 people in there because you won't fit.
Yeah.
No,
so,
even
can't
with 50, they would have to be humping.
Yeah. Don't talk about different themed rooms. You know what? There's one fucking room. It's just one big area.
One differently themed room.
Well, there's a toilet.
There is the toilet, and we are gonna go to town on that thing too.
Really?
We got some plans on it for that.
Yeah, we could put like different nameplates on the doors saying like elves and dwarves.
Oh, really?
Or like shotguns and health packs.
There we go. We do have a plan that we're hoping to implement for a bit of a membership sort of thing. You can get achievements.
Giles and Chun-Li's.
There we go. That's good.
Nice.
You'll be able to get achievements at the bar. So you get your membership card, and depending on how often you're there or how much you drink.
There's only one achievement. The achievement is I drank a bit.
It's probably not worth speculating too much on achievements.
Not at this point, no.
They're a little way in the future. You may want to have a liquor license before you start talking about this shit. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, otherwise it's going to be a very expensive cafe.
Well, we've been told, Shay, who's the experienced one, has basically said, listen, until we get our liquor license, we don't own a bar. We own the most expensive clubhouse.
But what a clubhouse.
What a clubhouse, though.
Yeah, gaming-themed clubhouse.
Our lonely, dusty little clubhouse.
So, obviously, stay tuned to Australian Gamer or the Facebook Manabar or the Manabar Twitter or the Manabar website or anything else that any of us ever talk about.
If you've heard of Yogan, have any contact with him at all, and I would understand if you didn't, you'll know.
You'll know.
Yeah.
Yes, come to the bar, spend all your money, and give it to us. It's a business.
Yahtzee will do.
We're not buying free rounds for our mates.
Yahtzee
our mates are all paying
Yahtzee
through the nose.
Gaming trivia night, so you can come down and.
Yeah, I'm going to stand on the bar because apparently we can't afford to buy me a little.
You want a podium?
Yeah,
I want a podium.
I wanted a little ledge on a wall with like a little balustrading around it, so I could talk down to the crowds.
Actually, no. What he wants is
dictators have those. For fuck's sake.
The Pope has one of those.
You know those machines you stand on, then you pull the lever, and it kind of.
A cherry picker.
Cherry picker.
Yeah,
you want cherry picker?
I want a cherry picker.
Yeah, of course you do.
Who is it who says that only two people have a mobile? The Pope and Batman.
Mobile.
A mobile.
Okay. Yeah.
What about Playmobil?
I don't know. You're making stuff up.
But actually, someone was asking me. I can't remember who was asking me about trivia and gaming trivia nights and things like this. And that there's a lot of issues with people cheating on, using the internet and on their phones.
Well, yes,
but
no more so than at any other trivia night.
Well, what I basically said is, we get around this because Yahtzee is doing it, and pretty much anyone that gets pissed off, like, oh, that team's cheating, or you know, oh, we're using our phones, Yahtzee is the kind of person that people will be comfortable with him just telling them, well, you're disqualified. Why? Because I hate you. Like, it's quite easy for him to get around that.
That's certainly the case.
So, yeah.
We'll see how that holds weight when we've got 60 drunken toughs filling up the place.
Toughs? It's a gaming bar.
It's a gaming bar, dude.
Toughs play games. They play Madden and WWF.
Yeah, true.
That's true. All right. Cool. All right. Well, yeah.
I think we're done.
I think we're done.
I think we should go away now.
Yeah, we will. Thanks, Yahtzee, for joining in at the last moment.
Thank you, Yahtzee, for promoting your own shit.
It's Yug's shit, really.
Well, it's yours too.
It's yours too.
Well, I'm the name and little else.
All right, cool. Thank you everyone.
Thank you everyone for joining us.
Joining us, and we'll see you again next week. I lost the ability to speak.
Yes, well done with that.
I think I need a glass of water.
See you, everyone.
See you.
Bye.